I've been too nice to you all, giving you unique or interesting malls one after the other. Well, let's flush all that away for now and take it to the new Bern Mall. I'm sure this mall looks just fine to you if you're a Hull apologist, but some of us want more than beige minimalist walls with stolen images. If I wanted that, I'd go to DeviantArt. Surprise, surprise! Like a lot of other Hull malls out there, there is not a lot of information available on this mall. And it's a Hull mall. I know I keep getting Hull apologists in my comments who say, "Oh, their mall is great!" And I wonder if those are actually serious, or if they're trolling for a laugh on purpose. But the short of it is that I've already seen this exact same mall a dozen times. Beige hallways that still manage to be cluttered with signs, and then stolen images plastered upon the walls. Allegedly. So I'm phoning this one in, the same way the architect phoned it in. For those of you who say I am lazy and do no research whatsoever, this should be exactly what you expect. Cadillac Fairview was the developer behind the Twin Rivers Mall, building the mall in 1978 and opening the mall sometime in fall 1979. Original anchors would follow in as Belk, JCPenney, and Kmart, a humble lineup for this coastal North Carolina town. At the time, New Bern underwent a small population decline, but at the turn of the 80s, that population would climb, doubling in size by the 2010s. A notable event in the mall that I was able to find would be a Mall Ball fundraiser in November 1983, which was an event hosted by the local hospital in an effort to raise money for geriatric services. Tables lined the walkways, and a flower display would adorn the center fountain. Wait, this mall had a fountain? Damn it, I always miss the cool Ah well. An event had a $75 admission fee with a $125 option for couples. Bands would perform, bars were set up, and Horse Divorce was on the menu alongside champagne for breakfast. Don't know if I pronounced that one correctly, and I don't care. French. The event turned out to be a rousing success, with $16,000 total raised. For the time, that was a respectable amount. Now, not much is known between then and now beyond that, but we do know that Kmart would close sometime in 2002 as the company began their true decline around then, and that building would have sat abandoned since, until it was finally demolished in recent years. I don't know who owned the mall between Cadillac Fairview and Hull Property Group. I also struggle to find out exactly when Hull Property Group renovated this mall into whatever it is now. Although an archived article from 2014 did say that the mall had a bright future and was contrasted against Vernon Park Mall, which at the time was declining hard before it finally closed up. Today, however, the mall is not looking too hot. Anyone who recognizes a mall can easily tell that those walls are made to hide vacancies, and you rarely see anything move back into those walled-up storefronts, do you? And speaking of vacancies, JCPenney has since closed after a wave of store closures in 2020 when the company was undergoing bankruptcy at the time, and this would leave just Belk to trek on as the sole anchor. There was also a Sears hometown store present, but Sears has its own problems, and recently, just about all Sears hometown stores were closed up. You have just a handful of mall mainstays here left, alongside Belk and a TJ Maxx. The handful of food options here may be the only real redeeming factor for me. It's hard for me to show any real interest in a Hull mall. While I do care about malls and want to drum up discussions on how to revitalize or repurpose them, Hall malls are just where I draw the line. Because you're watching these malls slip further and further down, and when the apologists try to point me to a successful mall, it still looks exactly the same. Soulless, like a dead husk of what it once was. In fact, those more, quote, successful, end quote, Hall malls appear to have problems of their own the more I look at them. But man, would it kill to do something even slightly different every once in a while? It's like looking at first-generation Levitt towns. Alright, see you around New Bern Mall, and New Bern proper. For those of you who insist on function over form, these malls must make you hard.